After the party is the after party. Welcome back, everybody. I am your host, Ray. With me, as always, we have the ever so lovely Material Life. What up, B? Mm. All right, so today, um, I wanted to do something that kind of goes into the. We're kind of going to discuss it in the podcast, but I wanted to have some, I guess, context behind it. And this is one of the videos that um, I was kind of alluding to, other than TikTok videos of people saying that black men don't like black women and black women don't like black men. So one of my podcast topics was how come black men and black women not liking each other. So with that being said, I found this video with YouTube channel called We Need to Talk, and you've heard of that channel, right? B.
Probably. I don't think so.
Okay, he usually do this interviews with women, and it's usually called Kevin. He has a series called Kevin Stream started this conversation, and like he talked to regular women about um just relationship stuff, and it's very he had very good videos. So um this one is more in depth. Instead of him being off screen, he's actually him and the individual that he is talking to is actually in the same room. So I figured that we could, you and I, we could go through this and then we can give our thoughts about what they're saying. But before I start, do you feel like black men and black women are getting along, or we're just not liking each other right now?
I think we're getting along. The ones that's supposed to get along, I think we're getting along.
That's interesting. Okay.
Now, if we're not meant to get along, we ain't gonna get along.
I will say this. I feel like there's a paranoia that that's been going around because before I feel like we're being very hypochondriac, like we and very pessimistic when it comes to like relationships. Now, only reason I say this because um, and this is funny because one of my I put a video on here and it got like 5 views, but it was a video I put on TikTok and that joint got like 50K views, and it was discussing this girl. She was going on for Simone Biles' husband Jonathan Owens because he wore a gold medal, and she threw a tirade about it. And then Simone Biles herself was like, I put that gold medal on everybody and takes a picture with him. And basically, she told her to mind your business, stop being miserable, and fuck off. And the girl was just like, um, you know what? If Simone Biles tells me to fuck off, then I'll fuck off. You know, it's one of those. It's kind of hilarious because it reminded me of Falcon on Landcron, but everybody was calling her miserable and shit. Like it was funny.
They was calling the girl miserable, or the
They
one
was
that like the one that attacked Simone's husband.
the one that attacked Simone Biles' husband. They was calling her miserable. Um,
Understandable. I guess the tides have shifted.
well, I guess, but I mean, as far as black men go, black men is always kind of like
No, they
defended.
don't. At one point, everybody was against him. They hated him. They thought he just kept on playing on her face all the time. It was like he ain't it. And now they all in arms defending him. I guess the times have changed. They now have accepted that relationship.
I guess so. Because I mean, if Simone Biles is happy, and that's all that matters, it's just like why? It seems like, and this is where the pessimistic thing comes in. It seems like everybody wants that relationship to just go negative, and basically, this is the video right here. So I'm gonna just play this video just so you get it. Know what I'm talking about.
Simone Biles commented on my video. Simone Biles, Olympic gold medalist, most decorated gymnast of all time, took time out of her day, I think she's at the Olympics, to comment about the situation about her husband wearing her medal. She said, crazy thing is, I put my medal on every single one of my family members and took pictures. So don't ever make assumptions like y'all are so fucking miserable. Leave us alone. I'm honored to be told to fuck off by such a talented woman. Yeah, she told us to shut the fuck up, and she put the medal on him. So she told him to. I can't really be mad if she told him to. You know what I mean? And maybe he is really taking notes and keeping score, that's cute. That's more than anyone's ever done for me. And you know what? Maybe I am miserable. I'll be called miserable by the most decorated gymnast of all time. I don't really care. I think that's fine. I think in comparison, naturally, I am not just miserable, but also lazy, untalented, and all the other things in the caption. I am undeniably that in comparison. So I don't mind. I don't mind this at all. I don't mind this at all. But good to know. Good information to know. I think that given the history of it, naturally, a lot of us saw that and were a little bit like, oh, jerked out of the seat. Whoa. False alarm. Okay.
It's a little low.
Now, when I first saw that video, the first thing it reminded me of is this Foghorn Leghorn cartoon that I'm going to play right here, because this is basically what that video was.
One who wasn't there. 2 nothings is nothing. That's mathematics, son. You can argue with me, but you can't argue with figures. 2 half nothings is a whole nothing. And I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm not one that has to keep talking. Some fellas just have to keep their mouths flapping, but not me. I was brought up right. My pa used to tell me shut up, and I'd shut up. I wouldn't say nothing. One time down there starved to death. Wouldn't tell him I was hungry.
And that's basically it. Now, basically the rest of the video is just me telling. Basically, the rest of the video is just me telling her that woman needs to get laid. But what is your thoughts?
I felt like she dragged on that. Simone told me to shut up. Like she made that 5-second clip last about 30 seconds. Oh shit. Okay, we get this. You didn't realize the times have changed. I didn't realize it either. But I guess, people are now standing in arms and protecting Simone Biles and her marriage. The girl didn't get the memo, but the memo is gotten. She even said it. I didn't realize the times had changed. Yeah, a lot of us didn't realize.
You thought people were still trying to not liking the husband?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What changed? Because I swear it was just a few days ago they kept on disrespecting him.
Oh yeah, they was calling Mrs. Simone Biles, and
No,
I understand it's Simone Biles, and Simone Biles is one of the most decorated gymnasts of all time. And
but he kept on acting like she was chasing him, like he the prize, and like she was like hungry for him. Like, dude, you was just in the future. Come on now.
Well, technically, she did pursue her. I know you don't like it when women kind of like pursue men, but she did kind of do that. So she got hers.
Yeah, but the way he was like, every time you see it, like he goes, like he purposely makes sure to put that out there, like, oh, she was chasing me. Oh, she texted me. I like saw it. I was like, oh, and then she like kept on liking my pictures, and then she sent me a message like, bro, okay, dude, you dragging it, but okay. Like, like, like you wasn't even on a full roster yet, homie.
You start now, so I guess
Yeah, he starts now, but when she hit him up, he
he was
wasn't
a
like,
rookie though. He was kind of a rookie. He hasn't been, from what I noticed, he hasn't been in the league long. So,
he had it. He was in Jiggly.
and like I said, at one point I do get women's frustration on that because it is Simone Biles, and but I was like I said, but like I said, and like many others said, if she's happy, why fuck
Against
up
Simone
the thing?
Biles. It felt like he
It's
was
like
just,
every time I see them, they smiling, they're doing whatever it is they're doing.
but it wasn't about him. It wasn't about her being Simone Biles. It just felt like, you know, how some dudes just be dragging stuff for so long. Like they be adding extra oomph to things. Like, okay, dude, we get it. And then they still going out. Like the guy, like the cartoon you just showed.
Talk
Had
all
took
they
her
want.
through. He kept on like still talking, like, bro, okay, we get it. Okay, okay. Like that was part that was irritating. It was like, okay, we get it. Like, damn, every interview you're gonna bring up the same thing. Like, you're gonna keep adding more clips to it.
Okay, so
Okay.
basically, no.
That's all he could have said was, you know, she got in my DM, she pursued me, like, you know, she got it, she jumped in my DM, and you know, we started getting to know each other, and boom. But I went to go take a shower. I left my thingy. I came back. She was like every one of our pictures. I did that. Then I was like, oh. Then I was like, oh. They're like, bruh, okay. Wait, it took you 10 days to respond back to her? Is that what you want us to know? That you was covering her for 10 days? Because like the way you dragging this on, it seems like y'all was like it was a weekend. She was like she was doing everything. Like she was so thirsty. And guys would do it, like to embarrass a girl because like yeah, her standards is high, so to make it seem like, oh, okay, like she was chasing me. I'm like, boy, y'all do too much. Too much. I guess some point girls should be sliding in men DMs because they do too much.
Well, there you have it. Well, anyway, so it kind of led me to this video, and I wanted to, like I said, share this with you, and then I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. So, so the video, like I said, the video is called "Why Don't Black Men and Women Get Along?" It's about we need to talk. So, you ready to react to this video?
I was ready yesterday.
It was ready. Yes. That's what I like to hear. All right, let's go.
So, where were your nerves when we started? Like, scale of 1 to 10.
Like a solid 7.5.
Where's that now?
Like a 3.
Progress. We moved.
Right.
Progress. Okay.
Ultimately.
So, where do you want to start? I always find it's good, like, if the main person asks me questions first.
You want me to ask you questions?
Yeah, ask me questions, and then we'll segue into me asking you questions, because I got all the questions for you.
I'm trying to figure out what questions I have, though. Okay, so can it be a question like, what was the goal of this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. Damn, it's coming down.
It is. It really is.
Shit.
I know you can't see. It's dark out there.
Yeah. So, the big thing, like, as you know, like relations between black men and black women is fucked up right now.
Mm-hmm.
And enough of this doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that, from my vantage point as a black man, I don't think enough of us are good enough communicators. And on the flip side, like I said before, I don't think enough of y'all are good enough listeners.
Wow.
So, I mean, we're using like the conversation we had on Instagram to like push the like the bigger conversation, but like the bigger conversation is like, why can't we get along? Why can't we find each other? So I'm gonna throw that back to you.
I think that stems, honestly, man, it's a lot of things, but one of the main things I think is expectations and
this wine is a shit.
yeah, it's really good. What were we talking about a second ago? Just like
expectations. Oh, when I was in the bathroom?
No, not expectations and standards.
Standards, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like that goes hand in hand to me. I don't know. I feel like so from like I was telling you, I have a niece.
Mm.
Little girl watches, Disney movies.
Mm.
From a young age, we're taught to want to be princesses to a prince. That we're taught to seek and that true love, exists. So we're from, before we can even really think for ourselves, we have this image of love that's put in front of us and it's set as the goal.
Mm.
And so I feel like in some ways that does prime women. And then, I mean, when you get out into society too, to a large degree, women are expected to desire relationships and desire a man for, to just get straight to the point. So men don't have that same
pressure
priming, or pressure. It's not there. So that's how it's thrown off from jump.
So why do you think that pressure?
Do you feel like she has a point right there?
It's the household, honestly speaking, because society says like women are supposed to be wives and this and that, but some households ain't functioning like society says. So some households they don't feel the pressure. Like the pressure she feels, it depends on the household, how you was raised, um, your parents' background, like their thought process and like what they expect from you. Now, if and it might, I don't know. I think it is the household because I would say like depending on if you're like a struggling financially, like they're like, oh, you gotta find your husband that has, that has his finances on track, and they like try to marry you to someone, and the financial like, that's financially okay. But I think it really depends on the household, how you was raised, what is the priority for your family dynamic. Because if the priority is to like, wet off your kids, then you're gonna train them in that concept. Okay, I'm gonna train you to make sure you know how to cook, clean, organize, be a good wife. But if your priority is to make sure your kids is well educated, make sure they they got something going for them, they don't never need to depend on anybody. If they got a husband, that's okay, but make sure you stay protected. You're gonna raise them differently. What you think?
I don't know. I'm with you on it depends on the household because because I was in a two-parent household. I've seen my parents before they divorced. I seen my parents love each other. I seen my parents show affection for each other. I seen my parents like work stuff out as a unit, so it made me want a wife that, or I want to desire something as a relationship like that. I look at my grandparents. My grandparents, they're still together to this day, and um, my grandfather does whatever for my grandmama, and vice versa. She, and that's something that I look at that as just like if I could get at least half of that. They've been married for like 60 years. I was like, if I can get half of that, I'm good. My parents been married for 30 years. I'm like, if I can get to there, I'm good. It's just like that's always been something I desire for myself, where I want a relationship too. So, um, I do agree that like we're bad communicate as men, we're bad communicators because I say it all the time. I suck at explaining shit, and then women are bad listeners because sometimes um, some things just I don't know. I just feel like we're not meeting at the middle sometimes. So I feel like how do you get the men to communicate and the women to listen to a point where both sides are understanding each other. So, but most of that, I see what she's doing. Um, I know, like a lot of my friends before they even thought about marriage, they just trying to figure out where the hoes was at because they just trying to soil their royal oats if we following the Coming to America dialect. So yeah, I see where you go.
Yeah, I see why she would think that way because of her her age group. Her age group parents did want their kids to get married. They like spoke on that and made sure their daughters should prepare for marriage was like living the life of marriage. But like let's be honest, these 20-year-olds, 21, 22-year-olds, like their concept is different. It's not like depending on like I said the house depending on how life is, you're gonna raise your kid and be like, okay, marriage is like the priority, marriage is the goal. And if you constantly, drill that into them, oh, you did this, then that's gonna be the thing they always like, gravitate towards. Oh, I gotta get married. I gotta find my husband. And then you get married young. That's why it was a lot of young people who got married and was married before like the age of 25. So many people were married because that was the thing that was always talked about back then was like get married, get married, get married, get married. But now everybody's talking about something. Get a job, live your life, save money, travel the world. Like marriage is not top priority.
Shoot, I know a girl that one of my homegirls that's on the ship. It was just like she went and got a degree, and then uh, I think she's getting her master's now, and she's in her mid 30s. And she still feel like getting into a relationship will slow her down. And I remember asking her, it was just like, why would you feel like it slow you down? You're already like to where most people don't even have their bachelors now, so you're already like ahead of most people. How do you feel like it's going to slow you? But I just feel like that's just what she just had to plan out for herself.
Yeah, but that was no, because that was that time. Like when you look at it, like so before the Beyonce era, where Beyonce got pregnant and she was still able to work and do like great things,
Hmm.
the concept was if you got pregnant, like you know, your life just wasn't the same anymore. Or a company, if you got pregnant and you was working a corporate job, they wouldn't. They didn't have paternal leave, like oh, you can be on leave for like 4 or 5 months, and you come back and you still have your job. A lot of times people would have to quit, or they would, leave the job during their pregnancy or whatever the case may be, or they'll work during pregnancy or whatever the case may be. But it was like that era. It was that time. People like our time, like kids now, they're like, oh, I could get pregnant. I could still work. I could do this. But at one point, it was like, oh, if you get pregnant, like most, they won't hire females because females can get pregnant. They won't hire females because females be, they be always having all these mental strengths and stuff. And so, but the narrative have shifted. It's like, oh, okay, like they can still do what the men do, like in the sense of like work hard. Like the kids are slowing these girls down, like they used to.
You know what's sad about that? Because that's the total opposite of men. Like, if anything, being married and having a family, it actually helps you in that area. To where and I always wanted this, and maybe just I think you answered my question because I was going to ask it to you, and it was just like, why does it seem like if a woman they feel like they have to choose their career or family? It's like how come they feel like they cannot have both? And I think you answered the question.
Back in the days, that was narrative. You either had like people wouldn't hire people because it was just like, dang, if she get pregnant, she gonna be gone for 6 months. She won't be able to do something. Where a guy, even if the wife is pregnant, oh well, like that don't affect you. Like, oh, you need to take time off for what? Like guys wasn't getting time off. That wasn't even a thing. But now guys do get these, 4 weeks off or 2 weeks off or whatever, during pregnancy. And some women are like getting pregnant and they running back into the game. Like Serena, she got pregnant, she went back and like competed like shortly after. Um, like it, so it's like the dynamic have shifted because now you're seeing a lot of women who pregnancy don't slow them down. Like for the longest, celebrities like it's either they was already pregnant and then they entered the game, or they got pregnant and then they left the game. And then Beyonce came around, she like completely shifted that narrative. It was like, oh, pregnancy is not the end of it. And then so then it was like, okay, girls was getting pregnant and then their careers was still booming. They was working harder. And so I think once that narrative shifted, even corporate America had to like come on board. They was like, oh, okay, so it might not be the end. So then that's when guys also started getting vacation time. And they were just like, well, if guys didn't vacate, if guys requested getting time off for pregnancy and women also getting time off for pregnancy, like at this point, and the women they'll do a lot more things where that you can take advantage of a woman. No offense, fast like easier than a man. So in corporate America, it's easy for them to take advantage of a woman in these fields than it is for them to take advantage of a man in the field. And that's not the case for every man and woman. Some men, they be getting taken advantage of. They be out here slaving away. But it's easier for a guy, for a CEO or a boss or whatever, to like, ask a woman to do extra tasking and they would do it versus a men.
Hmm.
But I don't want people to think, oh, it's like DEI or whatever, diversity and equality, whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like
No,
there is a thing. Like we can't act like these points don't exist.
no, I get it. I get it. I get it. What is it? Diversity, equity, inquiries, something like that.
I don't know.
I think that's what.
Inclusion.
Gonna be coming out.
Oh, father done answered the chat. Scared the shit out of me.
What would y'all niggas do without me, man? Y'all getting acronyms wrong and shit.
Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat, father. Have you been following along? Usually, you ask me to send you the link.
Nah, I just saw it, then I can join.
Okay. I was like, well, welcome to the after party. As if we just started, so this video is about why black men and black women don't get along. So it's just two people that they about to shoot the shit. And all right, let me just get to the video. Let me get back to it.
This is on y'all, but not on us. Like, what's the reason? Cardi B voice.
Probably patriarchy. I know. Didn't you say you don't like that term or
patriarchy?
Or what was it?
I think it's a coverall term. I think it's a way people deflect from actually getting to the point.
Okay. So, I mean, for a long time in our history of society, women were seen as property, right? A woman couldn't really do anything without a man. So for a while, you know, your ability to even do anything was tied to a man. You know, you weren't even seen as really a member of society unless you were Mrs. whatever.
Somebody,
yeah. So that was literally the identity of women. Now I think we're pulling away from that, and it's causing a bit of upheaval for people who want to keep a traditional view, so to speak, of what womanhood is and all those things. And I don't want to get too far off the topic, but
no, that is the topic.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like people consistently try to put us into a box of what it is to be a woman and what it is to, you know, what we can and can't do and what we should and shouldn't do. And it's a lot of that comes from a male dominated society. And that's why I say patriarchy.
Do y'all agree or disagree with what she said?
I don't think it's agree or disagree thing. I think it's an analysis. I think she was giving an analysis of the dynamics in which women were given in a society. She's mostly talking about Western society because, you know, just by the way the conversation is framed, black women and black men, you know, I'm assuming more so black women and black men in America. So she does have a point in that the society like favored men, right? More specifically white men, like they were, you know, the apex. Now, it's very interesting within the context of this conversation because we can all kind of agree that the black community kind of really doesn't operate in a patriarchy. It's more so of like I won't say a matriarchy because you know, there are instances of black men that do take control of their household. So I won't say it's a complete matriarchy, but we are more geared towards our mothers just because of like single mothers and things of the sort and like the history that we have in this country. Also, I do want to say that, you know, it's also good to see how other cultures do things. Like, for example, on my dad's side, they're a matrilineal family. So your property and whoever gets what is determined by who your mother is and who the mother and like their side of the family. So it's passed down from like the mother's family to the mother's family, down and down, so on and so forth. So, you know, within the context of this conversation, when she brings up patriarchy, I can definitely understand a lot of the criticism that comes with it. But, you know, again, it's about understanding exactly what happened to, you know, the group as a whole with those powers and with those dynamics that are interplayed. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. What about you, B? How do you feel?
I agree with Father. I don't really think it was like, I know for a fact you ain't talking about outside society. We really only talking about America. Because anything past America don't function like we do.
Okay. Let's get back into the video then.
So,
You ready for me to push back?
Oh gosh, not really. Not real. No. Let me sip. Oh gosh.
So no, it's not a pushback. It's more so like I always start things like with biology.
Okay.
I think biology is the foundation, or a lot of our biological programming are also like the building blocks of our societal programming. So I think the reason why women are pressured to seek companionship and a man and the whole nine is because our ultimate why are we here as humans is to procreate.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Unfortunately, women have a smaller window than men based on what society and biology values in women and men. So biology values men that are strong and can hunt and shit like that. Back in the day, now it's about your ability to earn an income and your ability to lead and things like that. And as we get older, gain experiences, those things increase.
Okay.
Biology values women by their ability to procreate on a foundational level.
Okay.
As women get older, those things decrease.
Valid.
So I think, the reason why, most girls are going to hear you need to get married before you're 30, before you're 40, is because that, what is it called? Sexual marketplace value based on biology and then based on society has highlighted that as, okay, the roller coaster is starting to go down. Now, I think what's happening now is like we're restructuring society to cater to a different definition of gender roles and a different definition of like each of our responsibilities. But unfortunately, as a species, we haven't advanced that much since caveman times. Like brain-wise, we're relatively the same as cavemen.
Really? You think so?
Absolutely.
I agree. At this point, I agree with him because I feel like as things evolve, what I'm saying, is more things change, more stays the same. And I feel like even now, where it's just like now women are getting jobs, women are making more money. Women, it's just people. We're still wired, for a traditional type of value in a traditional home. So people still fighting for traditional homes where even though like mentally we're wired that way, economically, and we're looking at the world and how things are ran here, it's not happening like that. Like most houses requires two incomes. So we say it all the time. Gone are the days where a man has to work a factory job, and can support a whole family. Now, most people, they have two jobs, or it's like one person is working like 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet now. So a lot of things, but a lot of people feel like there's still days that we could get the traditional values, and I'm just like, those days are gone. So we need to like adjust to what is happening now and how we're going to go through it now. But I feel like a lot of people ain't ready to do that yet, or don't know how. So, which I think.
The only thing that I'm gonna say is I think we're going down. I think we're regressing. I don't think we're improving. I really don't fucking think that we're improving because look at the society around you. Most niggas nowadays can't even tell whether a woman like them or not on a genuine way. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, but there's so many different like roadblocks to a man discovering who he really is because of this notion that he has to become a productive member of society. But when you look at the job reports, who's the one that's not getting hired? You feel what I'm saying? How many people are graduating college and they have to fill out hundreds of applications just to get an entry level job that they have to compete with 50 other people in order to get that one job? You want to know what this is? Like, bro, and I'm gonna use the United States. The United States of America shot itself in the foot, and they're trying to blame other people for the fact that it's bleeding. That's literally what I feel like is happening, because it's just like you said. We know gone on the days where a man can support his family with one job. Now he has to work 2 jobs. His girl got to work 2 jobs, and the baby that was just born 3 days ago got to get a job too, because the fucking cost of living is too high. I remember this shit where I remember this comment that somebody made where he was like, "Wow, the only reason why I'm in this predicament is because I didn't buy a house when I was in middle school." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we shot ourselves in the foot, and this shit is not sustainable for any of us. I don't care how much money you make. If you see that a lot of people in the society that you live in cannot afford a house, something is fucking wrong. And I don't care whether you can afford one or not. Something is fucking wrong, and you need to admit that shit. Sometimes it really is like, this is wrong. It's not, no, let's figure out a way to get past this. No, like, this is wrong. We're getting exploited. We're getting robbed. Literally. Ain't no, like, this is what it is. You're fucking getting robbed.
What about you, Material Life? How you feel?
What was the question again?
What was the question?
I'll put it like this. So he's making the point that, like, we are biologically wired to procreate. So because of that, society is going to put much more emphasis on women getting pregnant, and men finding either having the income to support like a family, or creating something of his own to be a productive member of society in the hopes of procreating with a woman. And he also made the point that women have a smaller window than men because of age to fulfill their like biological duties. We're just kind of talking about that.
Thank you. That sums up everything.
I understand the procreate thing. I don't. It's like a tricky subject. Women do have a shorter time versus men, but I also don't think that means men could have like 30 wives to just so they can procreate in like a kingdom or something.
What do you mean by that?
Cause you know how since like for a woman like a man that they can keep procreating versus like a woman, she has to be out for like 9 months. So I'm not saying like, oh, men should just get multiple wives, since women and men create for procreate. So men can procreate with multiple people and, do their mission.
Okay, all right. I think I see what you mean. So, let's get back into the video.
Psychologists say it too. The reason why, for instance, there's this surge in anxiety is because it's not because our ancestors didn't have anxiety, but it's because they were able to compartmentalize their anxiety. The anxiety is that jungle over there, and there's a lion in that jungle that might fuck me up.
Okay.
There are no jungles anymore, so the lion is everywhere. And that's because our brains haven't caught up to the current realities. So that's what I think it is. I think it all starts with biology, and we're trying to push back at it, but like
Okay, but by and large, though, we do have technologies that far exceed the strict biological time frames. Meaning, a woman can freeze her eggs.
Sure.
She can have kids without a man.
Sure.
So there are so many other options and avenues to the common objective, or what you say was, the determining factor of women's, was it?
But see, those things are still like alternatives.
So you're saying people want to be old school about it?
Everybody wants to be old school.
I mean, I guess it's seen as the outlier. You only do that if you can't do it the old school way.
And the funny thing is, like,
but the option still exists, though.
The options exist. I always had this like nagging, I don't know if you call it an anxiety or like uncertainty or insecurity that I might not be able to have kids. No physical reason, right. No like biological reason. I'm good health-wise.
Right.
I mean, I know I can now,
right.
But like I always knew, for me, if it never happened, I would have felt like a failure in life. So even though it happened for me under less than ideal circumstances, it's still better than like being a rich 60-year-old and not having any kids. So like I said, biology is still biology, and like we're not that much far removed from our ancestors.
Okay.
We're not, even with the technology.
I mean, I would have to agree with you there. Like, it is an alternative, and it's only if you can't do it the natural way. Well, I won't say only, because some people, are naturally curious and, open to things like that. But I would say status quo wise, regular and old school is the preference.
Yeah, old school is the best way.
You're right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So let me throw a question at you, like because what we were talking about was like certain men being intimidated by you. How do you feel like, the advancements we've made in society as far as women can vote, women can own property, women can achieve, and Black women are killing it. How do you feel like that has positively and negatively affected the love experience? And you could talk from yourself, like as an anecdotal experience, or like the big picture.
Before she gives her answer, I would like y'all to give y'all answers first. Who wants to go first?
I'm sorry, I totally spaced out. What are we answering?
Okay, hold on.
Yes, affected. How do you feel like women can own property? Women, the advancements we've made in society as far as women can vote, women can own property, women can achieve, and Black women are killing it. How do you feel like that has positively and negatively affected the love experience? And you could talk from yourself, like as an anecdotal experience, or like the big picture.
That was a question.
So I will say this, right? I think that it's great that Black women are killing it. I think it's great that they are educated. I think it's great that they own businesses, because all in all, that's a win for the Black community. The only time we should ever side-eye or question anyone in the community that is doing well is if they're only using their success as kind of like a weapon to impose unfair stigmas or sentiments against other people. For example, right, we know of the niggas that like get rich, move out of the hood, move into white neighborhoods, and then blast the places where they came from, right? Not because, they hate where they came from or anything like that, but because they are now in a new environment. They're now in a new, they now have a new status. So instead of uplifting people that are worthy of investment, they lump everybody into this one group and stigmatize them because they didn't get it out the mud, or, they didn't work as hard as they did. Like, you see this very commonly. So, there's that, but, it is a good thing like it is a good thing that black women are excelling and doing what they need to do in order to provide a life for themselves. Now, in the context of the community, that's up to us. You know what I'm saying? That's up to everybody. I don't think it should just be on black women. That's like everybody should contribute. Everybody should lend a helping hand, but just don't allow yourself to be stigmatized by people who, were in the same position as you, lucked up, and now have the audacity to look at you as less than. You know what I'm saying? Because you can also use the example of black women in the corporate world that have to deal with other black women in higher positions. Because if you look into that, you come to find out that a lot of those black women in those higher positions tend to be bullies. Again, not because, there's just something wrong with us, but again, it's that power dynamic. You feel what I'm saying? It's that new environment that takes over a particular mindset, and then they use that to, basically have a power trip and impose that on other people. So that's what I'm gonna say about that.
Material, like, what about you?
We're talking about the fact that people can do all sorts of ways of having a kid.
I'm sorry, you sounded a little muffled. What you say?
I said we're talking about the fact that there's like different methods to like, I guess, bring life into the world. Or
Uh,
No, it's just the positive and negatives of black women, like basically moving up in the social ladder.
mm, okay. Oh, I guess it's because there's some positives and then there's also some negatives. Because it depends. Some women they can move up the social ladder and not and not become, I guess, terrible. And some women move up the social ladder and just become the worst version of themselves for no apparent reason, but feel like that's what is expected of them to fit in a men's world. So it depends on what woman you get that moves up the ladder. Because I done had them all. Like, I had great women that was in leadership roles, and I'm like, wow, that's just inhuman. And then I've had some that was utter terrible, just horrible at the highest level.
uh, okay. Me personally, I'm glad to see black women also get jobs, kind of have an entrepreneur, get their own jobs. I love to see it. The only negative thing I feel like it takes out of it is that I feel like a lot of modern women, and not just black women, but modern women in general, especially in the Western cultures, disrespect blue collar jobs or like the everyday man jobs like construction, the transportation, the 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 regular blue collar jobs that everybody does. Is because most women, since they're getting their bachelor's degrees, they're going into like corporate. And if you go into corporate or government jobs, obviously you're bound to make more money. You're in like these cushy air conditioning jobs, and it's back then if you just had a job and you had like an okay to a good job, you was doing good and you were seen as an eligible bachelor for some of these women because hey, he got a job. He's not a bum. But now it's just like now what do you do for a living? Where do you work at? How much money are you making at your job? Where um if most of these women they're in corporate, they kind of feel like they're already doing better than some people that do blue collar jobs. And if you're your own entrepreneur, then you really feel like in a echelon that no one else is in, especially if your entrepreneurship is successful. It was just like, because you have that feeling of, as Father would say, I got it out the mud. How come you couldn't do it too? So I feel like that gets disrespected a lot, and I feel like we should be appreciating those jobs because somebody has to do them. Like, we all can't be entrepreneurs. We all can't be working in corporate. Somebody has to do these jobs, and I know a lot of people that do these jobs well that I feel like they need to deserve their flowers. And I know people that's in corporate jobs that can't do shit, that don't know add something for their elbows, as old people say. So I feel like we need to get back to like appreciating people doing those blue collar jobs. All right, let's get back into the video.
Man, okay, so how have the advancements for women impacted the dating experience?
Dating, matching, and all that jazz.
I don't know. I feel like women have. I don't know if I feel like I can't. If you consider like women's role throughout history, we've always had to be there. So whether a man is there or not, whether you're sick, you're healthy, you have to do it. You got to get it done. And I think Black women, by and large, have taken that pressure, so to speak, and we've ran with it. And for various reasons, whatever it may be, we may find ourselves having to still push, beyond and obtain, whether that be degrees, businesses, whatever. And I think that's just the drive in women, Black women, to do those things. As far as how that has impacted the dating scene, I don't know. I think it's impacted, of course, positively and negatively, but as far as how, positive wise, I think men who are open to it can honestly see their spouses now like a partner, like not somebody that you have to take care of, but somebody that's hustling as hard as you. And like, really, when y'all get together, you could really go, further, because what's better than, somebody that you can love and grow with and build with, like that's exciting. So I think that aspect has, been a positive experience. From a negative perspective, it does come with the intimidation aspect for men who may not necessarily be where they would like to be when they meet you. What you got playing?
Finish what you're saying. Finish it.
So the intimidation factor is rather annoying because I feel like it's self-imposed by men. I mean, if you have a woman who's telling you like, okay, like you're not there yet, but okay, but tell me the goal. Show me the roadmap. What do you have laid out? How are you going to get there? If you can lay out that type of vision, then even a woman who is further than you may still be willing to say, okay, cool, I'll ride with you on that. I'll stand by you on that. Because like I was saying, if you're up, you can be down. So from a monetary perspective or a perspective of possessions, if you have it, you can lose it. So at no point, I'm speaking for myself, do I feel like, because I have this, I'm better than somebody. So I don't see it as a negative thing, but I think men can see it as a negative thing because they're in their head so much. Where it's like, you really need to analyze what I'm saying to you as a woman who's, interested in you or talking to you, or really trying to explain to you, like, I'm okay with building, like, just show me the roadmap. And I think that comes from him not necessarily being confident in who he is and what his roadmap is. Because it's one thing to want it, but it's a totally different thing to have the grind to go get it. And he may talk a good game, but when it comes to presenting those blueprints, you coming up short. So then I think that's where the oh man, she gonna think she better than me, or that type of mentality may come into play.
But to your life, have you ever intimidated men? Like, have they ever been intimidated by you for what you do? Or
No.
No,
I think
so
it's in your head. Like I really be thinking that's really be in people's heads sometimes. Like if a man is intimidated by what you do, that's not your man.
I don't. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm speaking for myself. I've never been intimidated by what a woman did, like
Mm.
or her profession or what she
Same.
does. Like
Okay.
I've like you could be a lawyer, and if I feel like I can holler at you, I will do it
Yeah,
because
I feel like the narrative that's being pushed out there by like I guess high value women they consider themselves to be. But I'm like, I don't know. I can't speak for them. So I don't know. They probably do be getting these men that feel super intimidated. But I'm like, that can't be a man. Like, why would he be intimidated by what you do? Like that doesn't affect him.
I will say this because I did see this a lot at AI. Some people
Live streaming is on.
okay. I've seen it as I was saying. I've seen this at the school because there were some people that went there, and the only reason they went to AI is because you didn't have to take an SAT score to go to that school. That was one reason. Another reason, a lot of people didn't know what to do, what they was going to do after high school. So if you're walking into a young man and you're asking, "What are you doing? What are your plans 5 years from now?" A lot of them did not have an idea nor know what they was going to do. I feel like if you're going to go to college, you need to have a plan at least. But most people they don't have plans before they go to college, and I'm a, and I'm gonna be. I will say this because when I went to my recruiter, because when I couldn't get a job in where I lived at, and I always told myself my last resort was to go into the Navy. I remember my recruiter saying this should have been your first option because a lot of men don't know what they do. A lot of people just breeze by, and they don't really have. I don't want to say ambition, but they just don't know what to do or what they're going to do in life. So a lot of people they'll just follow the whatever trail they'll tell you to go. So if someone tells you to go to school and then figure it out, a lot of them are going to school to figure it out. They get in majors that they don't even like want to really be in, or they're not just interested in. And someone told me just pick that. So I do see a lot of that. It was a lot of that in AI as well because a lot of them dropped out, especially people that were doing it for film because they thought they was going to be actors. There's only one, and they tell you there's only one acting class, and majority of the class is telling you how to work behind the camera or what it's like to be a cameraman, or and all that other stuff. Even like doing stuff like gripping and lighting and learn how to like light a set and how to light a scene and do a scene. And a lot of those people is just like, damn, I thought I was gonna be like trying to be in front of the camera instead of behind it. So a lot of them dropped out. So it just left the people that wanted to do that knew what they wanted to do. And I'm pretty sure there was just like that in your major as well, Father. There was a lot of people that just picked it just because, and then after a while you just see them drop out.
Yo, I'm gonna say this. I think okay. Whew, okay, how am I about to say this? So I think for the most part, us as youth, we were fucking led to the slaughter. And I'm going to explain why. The example that you gave that like you have a lot of people that like go to college not really knowing what to do, or you just have a lot of people that just drift in life, myself included. Um, they're not doing this on purpose, right? They weren't born in this world and said, I'm just gonna raw dog life, right? Circumstances happen for them to behave like that, right? And when you have a system that places all the onus on you and making it your personal responsibility to be successful, that's what's fucking up a lot of people. I have always said this: success is never based off of one's sole contribution. It is the contribution of so many other people, of so many other factors, of so many other institutions and systems and things that are here to literally support you, right? Like, for example, you can't be in this world unless a man and a woman procreate to bring you into this world, right?
Right.
It has to be a very specific person for it to be used specifically because you take on genes from the mother and the father. Like, Ray, if your father got with anyone else other than your mother, you probably wouldn't be here right now.
You're right.
Saying why? And so with that example, right, knowing that there has to be prerequisites in order for a certain thing to happen, why in the fuck are you allowing children that are in high school to basically have a choice of college, have a choice of major? Like, bro, like they haven't been structured yet. You feel what I'm saying? Like you haven't given them a reason to even go out and do that shit. When I went to AI to become a game to do visual and game programming, it literally was because I wanted to, do something with games, right? But at the same time, I also knew that they taught me skills that I could use in whichever workplace that I found myself in, and I was able to do that. But a lot of people that went to the school, it's not necessarily because they were dumb. It's not necessarily, well, a lot of them were, but like, it's not necessarily that, but it's just the fact that, a lot of these people, like, they just sit there and give you very vague, like, advice. And, it's like they want you to carve out your own path without you understanding what tools would be required for you to carve out that path in the first place. So you have a lot of people that just wing it. You have a lot of people that are just like, oh man, I don't have any plan for my life. Well, you don't, because nobody really taught you to do that, right? You kind of were just pushed off on your own, and now you're just expected to figure it out. It's kind of like the same mentality that they have when they kick kids out at 18 and expect them to become full-blown adults, which I personally think is fucking abuse. But that's a story. That's another conversation for another time, because there are many situations in which it's actually warranted. But I mean, just to end off this thing, is just like, a lot of those people are only really winging it because a lot of y'all don't actually understand what it means to mentor people and to take people under your own wing and to show them, a way to be successful. Instead, you just tell them, pick a school, pick a major, and good luck. That's it.
Material life, how you feel? Being there? Because I know that I can hear you, and I know sometimes the last time you had to go out and go back in.
Damn.
I think she done. I think she done knocked out. I don't know.
Material life? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, there she go.
See? Haha. I got the power, nigga.
I got the power.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you hear? Did you hear what we said, or?
I was kind of in and out.
You was tapped in and out?
Because I feel like this, I don't know. It must be their personality or what the topic, or I don't know.
Okay. With that said, we'll get back into the video.
Yeah, you said a lot of good
I did
stuff.
say a lot, but see, I told you I'm talkative.
No,
like
but
that.
it was quality. It was quality. I'm gonna go back to what I said about biology.
Okay.
The truth is we haven't evolved that far. We haven't evolved that much. And I think part of what's happening, so for instance, I was reading the other day that the demographic with the fastest
Nah, this shit was
growth,
fucking
highest growth in suicide rate
What'd you say, Father?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. Go ahead.
is white men.
White men.
White men. The face of the patriarchy or white privilege are the ones killing themselves at the highest rate.
Okay.
And reading further, what's actually happening is that it's one thing to be born blind. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But to be born with sight and then be blinded sucks a lot more.
Okay.
Because you know what you're missing. So what's happening is because of demographic shifts and things like that, white men have been dethroned from their position of privilege and power to a position of like, damn, I need to figure out what my utility is. I was making $60,000 a year as a truck driver. Nobody needs truck drivers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can't provide for my wife. And now she's left me because she makes more money than I do. She doesn't need me to be handy around the house. She doesn't need the things that classically men have brought to the table
Mm-hmm.
are almost like less relevant now. And that's from like physical things all the way down to like sexual things. Like y'all got the rabbits and the Sapien machines and the whole nine. And I think why that's relevant is like I said, men haven't evolved. We haven't evolved that much, but we're trying to dialogue with an evolving world. So as great as it sounds to be like, you know, let's grow.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound good to men.
So I wanna say something about that because I have a friend that she basically an independent woman. She does everything on her own. She basically got it all on her own. And then she tried to date a man, and basically it went bad because the man tried to tell her what to do in her house, and she was like, "Oh hell no!" Basically packed her shit and packed his stuff in her bag. She basically bagged his shit up and told him to get the fuck out the house. So and my thing was, I said, okay. A lot of men they're kind of like prepped to like be the head of the household or the leaders. But in this society, like women, like I said, women, if they got their own stuff, the woman is not likely to give up. Even though she says she wants a man to provide, a lot of you women are not willing to give up that seat. And a man is just going to sit there and it's like, what is my purpose then? And then I feel like if you don't tell the man what his purpose is, he's just going to sit there and he's going to feel useless. And if he feels useless, he feels emasculated. And if he feels emasculated, he's just going to just sit there and just die on the inside. Or he's going to find someone that's going to make him look like the man, in which I think her ex-boyfriend kind of did that because like he did this stupid thing where he borrowed money from my friend and like was spending on her and some shit like, and it was spending on her. And I was like, wow, that's some fucked up shit. But but I've always said that if you don't really give a man a purpose, he's just going to die. He's just going to die and sit there. And especially if I'm brought up to do one thing. If you're telling me that all my life I'm supposed to protect and provide and all that stuff, and even you telling me to protect and provide, and I'm not given that position to do that, then what the fuck am I going to do? So I feel like we as if you're an independent woman, you really need to understand what do you need the man for. Because if you feel like you can do everything and don't need a man, then what is he there for? And if you feel like and if that happens as a man, I don't know if I can't even tell you if you want to stay in a relationship or not. But usually I tell people it's just like if you don't feel like you're wanted or needed, you leave. So what y'all think about that?
First of all, it's not a woman's job to tell a man what is his purpose. Like, men know their purpose. Men know exactly why they are here. It's been written time and time and time again. Now, for some odd reason, if they can't understand to maneuver in their purpose, that's the problem. Then they need to do some self work within themselves. Because regardless of what the situation is, a man with the right woman will always be in his purpose. Now, why go find you a woman that's independent or whatever the case may be, and you're like 10 notches below her, and she has zero respect for you? Why are you there? Like, why waste your time? Why waste your purpose? Why waste your like enjoyment or whatever the case may be?
Well, I would say this: A, because he liked the woman, and usually that's the only reason why men be like with women they like. I like her. It's very simple, but it's just I like her. Or B, like I said, huh?
Clearly, she don't like you back.
That's why we have some of these That's why we have some of these relationships that's going awry. It's like you realize that the girl don't like you back. It's just
if she liked you back, she would all the stuff that this guy's talking about wouldn't be a thing. She would naturally follow you. She would naturally listen to you.
Yeah, but independent women, they don't follow nobody. Like they're used to doing things by themselves. So usually when they get in, even if they get into a relationship, they don't know how to let go of the reins. Even if they do ask, they want a man to protect and provide. They don't know how to let that shit go.
They do. They do.
No, they don't. That's why a lot of them are lonely. That's why like the most single people that like the independent boss babes and all this, they're the most single women out there because they don't know how to not turn. Let's just say they don't know how to turn that bullshit off. So
because they haven't the guy to make them want to turn it off.
That's bullshit. I call it bullshit on that.
It's not bullshit. It's the honest truth.
I'm calling bullshit on that. Because like I said, if I could do everything, because a couple of women have said that to me. If I do it myself, what do I need a man for? A lot of them say that to their boyfriends or to their men. It's just like I can do all this shit. I can do all this shit on my own. I can do bad on my own. There's a couple of women that even said, like, I'd rather do the work 100% than like they felt like a man will slow them down. Hell, even my homegirl in LA was like, that's why she worked so hard because she would feel like a man to slow her down. And I was like, so what if you meet a man that makes more than you? Or she said, I would do my damnedest to try to like either equal him or make more than him because she felt like she was in a competition. I was like, why do you feel like you need to be in competition with the man? Because she said, I want my legacy to matter as much as his. It's like, especially if she feels like she has a daughter, she's like, she wanted to know that her mom was doing all these cool things and all that other stuff. It was just like, and I told her, I said, with men, it's just like, usually if the man is winning, the whole family is winning. It's like, it's not an individual prize. If I win, the whole team wins. So, but a lot of the independents is just like they want their name in the lights. Like they just like they want you to know that the mama did this, the mama did that, and all that stuff. That's what I've been seeing from like a lot of independent women. That's why I'm calling bullshit.
It's not.
I'm telling you, a lot of women do not know how to shut that independent boss babe shit off. It's just like that's
A
why
lot.
like even when they break up, they feel like they're not losing much because it's just like it's just like how can I say this? They feel like he was going to disappoint them, and it's like they prepare themselves to be disappointed. It's something like that. Hell, shoot! I know a lot of women they pick insubordinate men to be with, just because they don't have to compete with men. I've seen relationships with that too, where they get into a relationship with a builder nigga or what they call a homosexual or someone that they need them just so the fact that you need them it makes it turns it they like that power dynamic. Yeah, so that's why I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah.
I will say
We-
this, right,
Mhm.
real quick. I will say this. So I think in this particular society where the main goal is to become as self-sufficient as possible, right? But where people, both men and women, both black men and black women specifically, are crashing out, they're neglecting community. A lot of these independent women and shit like that, a lot of that shit would just disappear if they had a really good group of friends who also had access to really good families. You feel what I'm saying? A really good group of friends that come from really good families. Every single one of them. When you have that, you not only just have individuals as friends on your side, but you have communities. You have a community in which will, support you in case things may not be going well emotionally, mentally, financially, so on and so forth. Society, in the way that we see it right now, encourages women to be narcissists and encourages men to be sociopaths. The difference is like the men that are like sociopathic do it to themselves first because they have to uphold a power dynamic. They have to uphold a standard, right? I'm the protector, I'm the provider. Anything less is failure. That's the type of pressure that a lot of men ever like they put themselves on top with that pressure. But where they make the mistake is they think that they are less than if they are not in a particular position, right?
That's why all them white boys be killing themselves.
Yeah, that's why all them white boys be killing themselves. That's why all them Asians be killing themselves too. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So, there's even a word for it in Japan, karoshi, death by overwork. You know what I'm saying? Well, men will literally work themselves to fucking death just to appease that insecurity that they have, right? Now, women, on the other hand, now because they're getting more status, because they're getting more money, because they're getting more accolades, because they're getting more accomplishments, these women are paying their own mortgages, these women are owning their own businesses and stuff like that. They now not only have they been bitten with the bug that tells them, I'm like the head honcho, I'm the breadwinner and shit like that. A lot of that energy is masculine. You feel what I'm saying? That's masculine energy that you're dealing with. So if you don't have a proper balance, that's when you get what Ray described, like, women that just have all of this motherfucking ambition, but it's like you try to love on them or talk to them, and it's like fucking touching a hedgehog. You feel what I'm saying? You're just gonna get stung because they have this reputation. It's like they have this thing that they have to maintain, and they don't like to, surrender, or they don't like the concept of like submission or anything like that because they feel like power is being taken away from them. That is a fucking masculine mindset. Is basically what I'm trying to say. So people are crashing out because the energies that they're using in order to make themselves feel a particular way, not only is it like, I'm not going to say that it's alien, but you have to understand who you are at a fundamental level. Because, nigga, all that money, like, they could be taken away from you. You feeling what I'm saying? One day you may have it, one day you might not. I don't know why there's so much emphasis on, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to make it, I got to have it. Like, bro, this is life. You may wake up the next day and not fucking, I mean, you may not wake up the next day, literally. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to put these things into context, and you also have to understand that, nigga, bro, none of us know what the fuck we doing. We on a floating rock in space. Some of us are going to be blessed to be in positions where we have it. Some of us are not. That doesn't make anybody less than or more than anybody. It just simply means that in where you have a purpose, not even a purpose, but like where you have responsibility, simply just take care of the responsibility. Me, like, I'll tell you, and Ray knows this about me, as long as he's known me, I do not get intimidated by any motherfucking woman. I don't care how much money you have. Beyonce herself can descend herself in front of me and I would not give a fuck. Because I know who the fuck I am. Your money doesn't move me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's nice to have. Yeah, we can get a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, we can take care of ourselves. But I care more so about your spirit and your soul and who you are as a person without all that shit. Because now that you have it, that's cool. But if that's what defines you, then who are you when you don't have it?
Basically, and this is why I say with men, we usually when we talk about our legacy, it's not just us; it's the family, it's the dynamic of the family. Like the woman, it's the woman, it's the children, it's the children's children. It's just like I feel like black. I say this all the time. Black people want what Samoans have, a dynasty, where it's like,
Yeah.
or it's like a family, it's a community. Hell, I know a lot of African villages they have that too, but I'm just using Samoa because like Samoans are very close to each other. They're close families, but a lot of people like there's a lot of black people that don't have that, that wish they could have that, which is why I feel like that's why people kind of get on the rock a lot because it seems like he always talk about that Samoan heritage, but it was just like he grew up around that, so that's all he knows. So, but but yeah, but like I said, I've seen a lot of women like they get into this dating, the independent, and I'm talking about the independent boss way. They get into this dating thing, and they don't know how to turn that independent boss babe attitude shit off, and it turns men off because it's like I said, it's very masculine energy. It's just like which is why I tell people I'm not here to compete with you. I'm not your competition. It's like I mean, especially like if I want to see you win. Like a lot of men, like I said, a lot of men, we say this all the time. We're not intimidated by women. We glad you could do that, but it's just like at the same time, a lot of you get big headed for what they do, and like it gets to become a turn off. So there's a but yeah, a lot of them. I feel like if a lot of the independent women know how to turn that off, I said they will be in better situations with men in relationships.
So
Uh, let's get back. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. I disagree. Like 1,000% disagree. First of all, if a man is with a woman, whatever the case may be, and he moves into her house, that's already a failed problem right there. If you don't move into a woman's house, the woman moves into your house. So already y'all started wrong right then and there. Because now you're under her roof, playing the role of the leader and the provider, but She put space for you under her section. That's not how it works. And so that's already one at that point you're fighting against something. And so also this whole pretending that you know, a woman that's like a boss, like a independent woman, she can't conform. That's a lie. They will conform to exactly who, like, it'd be the weirdest, like, it could be a woman, she'll conform to a guy who ain't got nothing going for himself. And you be like, she'll even, like, stop doing all the stuff that she's doing. There's something about his energy, like, once a man understands exactly their power, it's a wrap. Now, if you don't know exactly, like, who you are, then I don't know. You're gonna always have struggling moments. Because just because you like somebody or, oh, that's so cute, like, if it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. If they don't respect you, it's not gonna work. If they're not listening to you, it's not gonna work. Because they will listen. If it's a person that they want to listen to, they'll listen. I think men need to go back to and stop doing this whole, oh, these women are getting paid so much. So they feel like they don't need a man, they don't need a man, they don't need a man, they don't need a man. They do. Like, stop looking at, oh, well, she's making more than me. Then go make more than her. And you ain't gotta go chase after her because she didn't respect you to begin with.
Me
Find you
too.
some.
I just wanted to say, in regards to what you said, this is exactly why I fucking hate talking about the financial aspect of relationships. That shit right there. Because when does it end? I make more, she make more. I make more, she make more. Like, when does it end? When does it get to a point where we just make money so that we can be good? Why does one have to make more than the other?
Well, are you planning on she provide for you or you gonna provide for her?
Nigga, let's provide. Let's just provide. If you got it, cool. If I got it, cool. Over. I just don't understand why it has to be me making more than her or her making more than me. Why does that matter? Why do I care why would I care that my girl makes more than me? Why? For what reason?
But there's a lot of girls that don't make that much and that would gladly love a man. Like, I said, if she doesn't respect you, it's just not gonna work out.
I agree with that. That
And
is
I
true.
don't know, go make more money than her, and she didn't respect you to begin with. So don't go make more money than her to go try and bag her. She didn't respect you to begin with. Regardless of how much more money you make than her, she never respected you to begin with. Now she's just with you financially. Like, it wasn't gonna work out to begin with. She didn't respect you to begin with. But stop using the excuse like, oh, like she makes more than me, she makes more than me, she makes more than me. Then go make more. But I'm not saying go make more and then go try and bag her back up. For what? She didn't respect you to begin with. Why would you go back? Go make more and find you someone that respects you. But don't backtrack. For what? Because that person is only going, like, things won't change. She's only there financially because she's like, oh, okay, we got some money coming in. I can tolerate it.
Well, I'll
When
tell
they,
you, so I
even when
will say this: as a man, you're supposed to sniff that out before, and this is why you vet. This is why we tell people to vet people before you begin with, because. But we all know that even though the red flags would be obvious, some people they ignore the red flags. Like there's a lot of people that you like. Hell, hell, like I know a couple people like the nigga no good, and yet you still with him. You ignoring their red flags. I've said this before. I know women that stayed just because the dick was good, but he didn't do nothing else. But when it came to sex, it was like that was the only reason like that relationship stayed because the sex was good. It was like nigga couldn't hold water, but the nigga could fucking fuck a bitch, fucking crazy and some shit like that. So this is why I tell people vet, and then I also encourage men to read body language because I know people can lie, but like I say, a woman's body will tell you before her mouth will ever. But her woman's body language will tell you more than what she will say out of her mouth because usually is she's gonna say what you want to hear, and if you're dumb like that, you're gonna fall for it. But if what she says doesn't follow what she do or what she do, then you need to get up out of there. I'm with you on this. Like I feel like a lot of men they're in relationships where they know the woman can't stand them and they can't stand her, but some people just stay because of either situations like they ain't got nowhere else to go or you know they ain't got they
honestly
can't just
speaking,
move out on their own.
too many
It's
men have been broken down left and right. Society has completely broken them to the point where they forgot who they were. Like honestly speaking, they have totally forgotten who the hell they are. And they allow society to create this false narrative that these women, oh, they're making so much more than them, that these women are like, equal to them, that these women are better than them, or blase blase. Some of them is not, taken off. They're just like, yeah, okay, not believing that. But some men really do, like they stop operating in you know, their divine. Like honestly speaking, they have allowed society to completely tear them down to make them feel like, like they less of. Which I'm like, once men realize like their power and they operate in it and they're functioning like they're supposed to. And now I'm not saying that men are not doing that. There's a lot of men that is, but there is also a lot of men that have allowed themselves to like just let themselves go.
okay. Let's get back into the video.
Dang, that's crazy.
Because our role for millennia since the beginning of time, and again, like these are things that have been established over thousands of years. They're not going to change over 10 years, right?
Mm.
Our role has been, I'm going to build the house. You come in and decorate that motherfucker, make it home,
Right.
make it comfortable.
When I come in, I want to smell something good on the stove.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's still, unfortunately, because I don't think it's a good thing, but that's still ingrained into the psyche of a man. So the mere fact that a nigga can't build the house is emasculating.
Damn.
The mere fact that I have to get the blueprint from you is emasculating.
Mm.
So like, and I hear a lot of women talk about like the whole Bonnie and Clyde, we go build together. It doesn't sound good to men. It's not a good proposition. It's because, I mean, unfortunately, the truth is, whether you look at it biblically, biologically, or whatever the case may be, whether you believe in traditional gender roles, there are roles. Both people can't do the same job. Both people can't have the final say. Both people can't be have the last right of refusal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, with that being said, it was easier back when I made more money, or
but see, y'all acted up. When y'all had that type of privilege, y'all acted up, which is why we had to be like,
white
no.
men acted up.
See, no, now, of course, I don't want to work. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
I do. But when you give somebody the ability to feed you, you give them the ability to starve you. And y'all had way too much, fences behavior going on. Where, hey, I did this, it is what it is, and what you gonna do? You gonna leave? And so what if you do? Type attitude. Nah, that's dead.
No, I agree with you. I think what happened though is like men didn't understand that there's a monetary value to what women bring to the table. Like outside of the nice stuff, like if you hire an interior designer, you know how much that costs. If you hire a babysitter, you know how much that costs. If you hire a daycare educator, you know how much that costs. A fucking housekeeper, a cook. These are expensive things, and you have somebody who does that. And I think that's what men fucked up, because we didn't understand the value of that. And therefore, the only way women could think to measure up was to do it the same way we do. And I mean, when we talk about like what happened with, I think it was World War II, when all the men went off, that's when women started working. And they were like, oh, this is all y'all been doing this whole time, and like rubbing it in our face. And now we're here. But again, those are white people. And a lot of times, a lot of shit white people did, white men did, and white women complained about, we have almost adopted it as us.
We had a similar experience though, because grandpa might have had a couple kids down the street, and grandma was expected to stay. And at least he paying the bills, girl. At least he bringing home the bacon, so to speak, right? So when we gave y'all that ability to feed us and the kids, y'all acted up.
But we still fed y'all.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and that's still. Hey, they were missing back then, and we continue to miss today for that very reason. Because to your point, you say women don't listen to men, but like I said, nobody feels heard. A woman feels like, I'm telling you it's okay. Like I'm telling you, I know as a man you don't want to feel emasculated. I know as a man you want to feel like a leader. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I'm woman enough to be cool where you at right now, because I can see the vision. If you can show me the vision, I can see where you're going. And can
I ask you a question?
Sure.
So
that's not like if you're trying to be a rapper or nothing crazy though. Like, no, I mean, that could be an honorable career choice.
I think it's a bullshit career choice. But here's my question.
I was just trying to be fair. You said it. Okay, go ahead.
Let's say, we're living in a $40,000 house. You're a doctor. I'm a rapper, or an aspiring SoundCloud artist.
You said $400,000?
Yeah, okay. $400,000 mortgage. And you're a doctor. You make $300,000 a year. You're doing fine.
All right.
I make my $40,000.
Can you not be a rapper though?
Okay, I'm an average black man. I make $37,000 a year.
Okay. Whew.
Obviously, you're paying the majority of the mortgage.
Obviously,
you're paying the majority of the bills. When a financial decision needs to be made, who has the last say?
I think that's where I believe that it can be an honest dialogue. There's gonna have to be some give and take on each side. And I think if you approach it from that perspective, then everybody you got to give and take. I think a relationship is give and take. And I think men, y'all sometimes want to rule with the iron fist when it's like, but for why? because I could have a valid and honest and
Mhm.
an opinion that honestly can yield a better result than what you're thinking. But
Sure.
You think she has a point, or you think that's
Well,
bullshit?
like, because it's not a question about it. Shouldn't the answer shouldn't have been, that's give or take. That's conversation. That's it's because you're tolerating that person. You've been lost respect for that person. You're allowing them in your space. You have 400K. This person makes what 30 something K. You pay majority of the bill, and you feel like, you know, I'm allowing you in this space, so I'll hear what you gotta say, but honestly speaking, I don't care. So we'll have a conversation about it. But I feel like my say is final say.
Would you feel that way if the roles was reversed?
Hmm?
I said, would you feel that way if the roles were reversed? Like if the man made 400 and she made like 37?
Well, he's supposed to make 400. He's supposed to make 37.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I said, would you feel the same way if um if the roles were reversed? If he made 4, do you feel like the man would have the final say? Yeah.
Well, the men should have the final say. As the leader, as the head of the household, the one that's guiding the path.
Okay.
But
Now here's
instead,
okay.
when he
Now here's my
when
next
he wants
question.
to talk about it, he doesn't
Okay.
have the final. He didn't
Okay.
have no say.
Hold on. Here's my next question. Okay. You obviously you make the most money and you make the final say. But what if the next move you make?
You
Hold on.
make the most.
Hold on. What if the next move you make could bankrupt the whole house, and the opinion I have can actually help us out? Are you still going to overrule my opinion, or are you just going to say we're just going to go my way and we're just doing it my way because my way works?
I don't think you understanding the dynamic of like men being the leader of the house. I think you're still thinking of this in the sense of like money wise.
No, I'm listening to a sense of common sense because sometimes men, because anybody, yes, you like it's one thing to be a leader, but it's another thing to where you leading us to. And sometimes not all your ideas are great ideas. Some ideas is going to lead to a brick wall. And then
Right.
sometimes you need, and yeah, hold on. And then sometimes you need that second opinion, and second opinion say maybe we shouldn't do that. That might fuck us up, and and I could be correct. And then, but if you're so arrogant and it's my way and the highway, and we end up going bankrupt, what then? What then? What we lose all the money. But if we listen to, but let's say the person with the 37, because sometimes just because you make the money doesn't mean you know how to save it, or doesn't mean you know how to, spend it well. We seen a bunch of people that get rich and then don't know how to manage their money and go broke. The person that's probably making the average probably knows how to manage the money better than the person that makes 400. But you're not going to listen to him because he doesn't make the money. Is that's what I'm getting at. It's like it should go with the common sense, because sometimes, like I said, just because I make the money doesn't mean I'm right all the time.
It's not about making the money. That's what I'm trying to tell
But
you.
no, what I'm saying, no. Again, you're missing the point. It's delegation, even as a delegation, because even people that are higher up, they have second opinions. They have people that just say, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should go this way because I feel like if you're going to do this, it's going to bankrupt or it's going to fuck us. It's going to fuck up the money. And sometimes, and then because let's be real, there's sometimes men we don't sometimes we don't think right, and then sometimes the women they have the better idea, and then something and the women like they give you the idea, and sometimes the men don't listen, and we end up women usually end up saying I told you so. It's just
This
like
was a storyline in Love and Hip Hop. I think New York.
yeah, it's something probably. That's what I'm not getting that from like just a money thing. It's more or less a common sense. It's just like what sounds good and what doesn't. I think that's where she's getting at. She's just like just because I make more doesn't mean I'm right all the time. Because a lot of people feel that way. Just because I make more money, or hell, even like people that make that much money, they have accountants. They have people that watches their money. They have people that literally pocket watch. Their job is literally pocket watching, or like they tell you how to spend their money, and they say, "Yo, you probably shouldn't spend your money on this. It's a bad investment." That's your second. You should at least have it. Even if you were a leader, what I'm saying is, even if you are a leader, you should have a second opinion. And usually, your second opinion is someone that you formally trust, a la your woman or your man.
If the decision is made, and if it turns out to be a bad decision, okay, you just gotta stand by the decision that was made.
Yes. So even if
Oh
like
no, you were
now
dummy.
now the thing is, if that decision is made and it goes bad, the thing is, if the decision is made and it goes bad, it's on your head.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yo, I just want to address something real quick, bro. Like, I'm not gonna feel emasculated if my woman makes more than me. I'm not gonna feel emasculated if I'm ever in a position where, like, because there may be situations in which my woman is gonna know more than me. I personally consider that a blessing because that means that I don't have to do every single motherfucking thing in that household in order for us to not drown, right? Like, I don't mind my woman being my fucking partner. You feeling what I'm saying? It's like I always said, relationships are 50% romance and 50% business, right? Yes, you're cute. Yes, we have good sex. Yes, we might have romantic feelings. But now, when it comes to business, when it comes to managing assets, when it comes to maintaining a household, when it comes to, paying bills in a efficient way, when it comes to taking out loans, and all that stuff is important too, because if we're going to be building a life together, then I need to know that you can handle the logistics that come with it, right? Ray, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if you're gonna agree with me or not. I personally think men put way too much fucking responsibility on themselves. Way too motherfucking much. And then when they crash out, they try to blame everybody for their fucking problems. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of men fucking do this. I've seen a lot of men take on way too much motherfucking responsibility. They don't delegate well. And then when the heat becomes too much and then they're expected to fix everything, they still get upset. You feeling what I'm saying? So, yeah, there are many ways to emasculate a man, but why are you even putting yourself in a position to be emasculated as a man? Right? Because there's a lot of shit like, bro, I'm gonna only feel emasculated if I feel like, I'm probably being undermined or I'm not being respected or whatever. That's emasculating. But me not being able to build my own house, like he was kind of tripping with that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because, like, okay, I didn't build this house brick by brick, but that doesn't mean that I'm less of a man because I didn't build this house. You feel what I'm saying? Because if I really wanted to and I really wanted to put in the effort, then I'd just build the shit myself. right? But that will require, again, a community-based effort, because this is also how they did it in Africa too. The villagers built you the house. You know what I'm saying? So that you could have a place where you can raise the kids that are also going to be members of that very same community. You know what I'm saying? As above, so below. So if the kids in that particular village or that particular community sees that all the men are united and, you know, do things that will empower not just themselves but everybody, then the children grow up with that example, and it's not hard for them to pick who they're going to court, or, you know, who they're going to date, because they're going to be having that type of standard built within them, right? But in Western society, in places like the UK and the US and shit like that, where it gets really, really, really confusing is how do we delegate power, right? And I think this is the conversation that you and Material Life were just having. It's like, okay, you know, you make this type of money, I make that type of money, so who gets to delegate what, right? But you can't do that unless both parties know who the fuck they are. Like, so if I'm really good at managing money, but I don't make a lot of it, but my woman has most of the income and she's not that great at managing money, guess what? I just upped my stock by fucking times 10. Because if I can prove that I am a valuable asset in that relationship, it doesn't matter how much fucking money I make, because I'm an asset. I know I do well in the responsibilities that I am given. I don't feel emasculated because I can't do a certain thing. You feel what I'm saying? I just feel like he was reaching with that because, bro, we're all human beings. We all have different abilities. We all have different, you know, ambitions in life. We all have different things that we want going for ourselves. But if you are the type of person in which you want to be in a relationship, like, understand what that entails. Understand that, yo, it's not about you. It's not about you. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much money you make. It's not about you. I don't care how many times, you know, you don't took a nigga back, you don't took that girl back. It's not about you. It's about the relationship. It's about the collective. It's about the unit. If this is beneficial to the both of us, then we continue. If it is not beneficial to the both of us, we can see if we can either come to a compromise or figure out a way in which we can solve it together, or we could just go our separate ways, and then you can be Miss Independent, I could be Mr. Independent, and then we can both go on about our lives. But this whining shit about who got roles and this and that and this and that and the third, it just sounds like insecurity to me. I'm sorry.
Shit, it might be insecurity. But what you saying is the reason why we don't have monarchies in America. That's why we have 3 branch systems. Because obviously the monarchy falls on the king. And if it falls on the king, it's just him. And then, like, usually, like, he is the name and he has to get rid of people that I feel like fucking with him, when he might be the actual fuck up. Which is why we have, which is why we have the delegated branch, which if the president is the one who's the fuck up, he's supposed to be impeached. I'm sorry, not to get into a Trump rant, but there's basically, like, we have these 3 branches to balance each other out. Not one supposed to have the major power over the other and all that other stuff. This is what you're saying is the reason why we don't run a monarchy right now. So, yeah. But all I'm saying is just, like, even if you have the final say, it's good to at least get a second opinion, because, like I said, your idea might make us go bankrupt, and then the person that making 37 probably knows a little bit something about handling money, and then giving you a great idea of how to handle the money or some shit like that. And then what you gonna say to him? It was like, what do you know? You only make 37. It's just like, can't just emasculate the person like that, especially, which a lot of people do. So, and I don't know. I just try to prevent the "I told you so." So,
I don't think any of y'all understanding the concept. It's like going across our head and past somewhere else. What I'm stating is, You go and you say, okay, hey, I'm thinking about, trying this or doing that or whatever, right? They give you their opinion, you get your opinion, then you make a decision, right? The decision go bad. At the end of the day, you have to stand on that decision. You can't expect, your partner to be like, man, you were so stupid, you should have never did that. Oh, because of your decision is so terrible. That's that's not how it works. Like, don't just start, beating him up because this decision didn't go as, like, even though you felt like, oh, okay, like the decision was a bad decision, and he felt in his heart that, you know, he thought the decision was gonna work. Then y'all just need to figure out another method to, recoup, recover, and, continue on. But to be, demasculating him, going off on him, being angry, disrespectful, that's not how it works. And I think so many men feel like that's normal behavior. Like I said, they don't know exactly what their role. Like, I know y'all don't want this whole role situation or whatever the case may be, but they don't know exactly what their purpose is, what their role is, what's their requirements. They've been so they've been so trained recently to be like, back burners that they think that that's where they need to be at. Like, you made a decision, okay, it was a bad decision. But that doesn't mean like, oh, you couldn't make decisions for the family for the remaining of the life. You just do better next time. 'Cause even independent women by themselves make bad decisions. And they also make good decisions for themselves.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
Live streaming is on.
Man, you feel like I need to have the final say, yield a better result than what you're thinking. But
Sure.
because you're the man, you feel like I need to have the final say. And if you say I don't have the final say, then you don't value me as a man. Nah, but sometimes if what you're saying doesn't make sense, I have the ability to be like, nah, babe, what about if we try it this way? And I know it's a lot about delivery. I can't be like,
Sure.
bitch ass nigga, yo, dumbass. I can't say all that.
Yeah.
But I can say, well, babe, I was thinking, hear me out. What do you think about this?
I feel like if you made $300,000 a year and he made 40, you'd have a lot more bass in your voice. Let me tell you something, nigga. Let me tell you something, nigga.
We're not talking about large
This is
jumps.
what we're doing.
We're not talking about large jumps. Like, that's a very large jump. Like, I think that's a very dramatic
statistically
jump.
speaking, most black men, like when we're talking about like Kevin Samuels, and that's kind of like where we're going, right? I actually looked it up. Like there's, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal. They had like they had a demographic chart where you can filter it by like race and ethnicity and gender and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out what percentile you're in based on your salary.
Okay.
People who make $100,000 a year, 10% of the population.
That's not a lot.
When you control for race, when you say black people,
shoot,
that's like 5% of the population.
Okay.
When you then say black men, it's like 3% of the population.
What is?
Then,
so that's the NBA, the NFL.
Then when you start controlling for that, you got to control for men who are heterosexual, who are interested in women. You have to control for men who are relatively attractive or stylish, whatever the fuck women like. Then you have
attractive
to control.
And stylish.
There we go. And then you have to control for men who are, seeking monogamy.
Right.
Because the entertainers, they're not seeking monogamy.
Nope.
They like the life. Then you have to control for a man who's at least taller than you.
Yeah.
It's biology again. Like you can say Andre is a short nigga, but if a nigga isn't at least taller than you, or at least your height.
At least as tall. Oh yes.
Anyway, I've had a lot of conversations with any woman that's not gonna
you
give.
don't feel like
You
like
see
you
what I'm
gotta
saying?
pick him up and put him on your hip.
And then when you then control for after all that, control for a man who is attracted to you,
right,
you're talking 0.0001% of the population.
right.
You know, so I say all that to say it's tough out here for women. And it's important to know that like men don't think the way that y'all do.
Yeah.
And we don't value
At
the
all.
things that y'all value.
No.
And
Right.
unfortunately, we're both still superficial, just not in the same way. I care a lot about how you look.
Right.
You care a lot about what kind of life
Can you provide?
can I provide for you? Because women, what I realized, what I learned, you know, as I've matured in my pimping,
Whatever.
what I've learned is like women more so remember how you make them feel
Absolutely.
than anything else.
Absolutely.
Whereas men, you know, it's still kind of how you make us feel, but it's more so an ego thing. But like for y'all, it's like it's less about how what I said or how I said. Like, have you heard that Giveon snippet? It's a song he's about to drop called "Trying to Be."
Trying to be all that I can be for you. When you're not with me, it's hard because it's lonely. Honestly, I told them I'm in love with you, but they're okay with being number two. Drifting us apart, I ain't did nothing wrong yet. I'm tempted when you're gone, cause I don't do well alone. They want me more than ever now, and I'm scared that I want them too.
But literally, like, if you listen to the lyrics, he's talking about like, I want to be faithful, but these hoes out here and they want me. But the way he sings it, you forget that's what he's saying. Like I sent it to some people.
Probably hear it and be like,
I sent it to some people and they were like, this is beautiful. I was like, did you listen to the lyrics? Like, no. Go back and listen to the lyrics. Damn, that's fucked up. So like for women, it tends to be like,
I see what you did there.
How does this make me feel?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why we don't hear each other sometimes.
Absolutely. Wow. I mean, hey, I have to agree with that. I 100% have to agree with that because women we're emotional. Now, I will say I think men are more emotional than women.
How so?
Women just express their emotions more.
So when you say more emotional, do you mean?
I think y'all just it's so everything is so
drifting us apart.
Well, there you have it. What did y'all think?
Whew. The only thing that I want to say is, okay, first of all, understand who you are. Like, look in the mirror and understand who the fuck you are. Beyond the looks, like, understand who you are before you start dating. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of shit will become easier because you'll know what you will not tolerate, right? I think all in all, this was a great conversation. They both heard each other out. You know, I don't really have any big issues with what any of them said because it is their, you know, perspective. It is how, you know, they kind of maneuver in the world and the things that they have seen. But, you know, it's no secret that I've said so many times that the fucking dating pool has pee in it, right? But that also doesn't mean that, you know, you can't find somebody or like you can't, you know, see somebody who is for you. You feel what I'm saying? Because they're definitely out there. It's just you have to be in a position to not only receive them, but to nurture them. Because there are going to be some days where they might not be able to show up for you 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really about compromise at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? It really is about compromise. And I think that, our individualism has kind of got us fucked up in the sense that we could just dictate what we want and project it onto others just simply because we have this and we have that and we have income and we can provide this and we can provide that. But like, yo, none of that shit means nothing if you aren't being a benefit towards somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're getting into a relationship, at the very least, have the intention to want to be a benefit in that person's life. So that in the case where maybe you're not around, your influence will inspire them to make better decisions, will inspire them to be better people, and will maybe even inspire them to be the same type of thing that you are for them, so that it could be a reciprocal relationship instead of a parasitic one. Because what I find is that a lot of relationships end up becoming parasitic. One is taking more than the other, and they impose that power dynamic on them in order to make them stay, in order to make them feel like you are nothing without me. So, all in all, it is a really good conversation. I really did wish that they would elaborate on men being more emotional, because I do agree to a certain extent that men are more emotional, but it heavily depends on the situation that we're in, right? Um, I feel like women, when it comes to their emotions, they are much more. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like they're much more responsive with their emotions, while men, we kind of just have a box for our emotions and then we put it in the box and then we don't open that box. You feel what I'm saying? And then the box catches on fire, because we're really fucking mad, and then that fire ends up burning everything else. If I could explain it. So, emotional intelligence in men is a must, right? Like, we have to be intelligent and logical with our emotions so that we can react accordingly to the things that, we need to handle. But, when it comes to women, like, emotions empower them. Emotions are what gives them the ability to maneuver and things like that. So we shouldn't downplay it. But, at the very end of the day, everybody should be doing their due diligence and understanding who they are, so that you don't fucking smell like pee when you get out that dating pool.
What about you, Material? How do you feel?
I agree. You need to know exactly who the hell you are and do the work to know who you are before you enter into a relationship. So you don't get confused and find yourself changing who you are to to meet somewhere and then it doesn't work out properly. Because at this point you're not who you are. Like you're acting in certain ways to, meet somebody in the middle and to find out that the person is literally the middle is their spot. Your spot isn't the middle. So now it's like, okay, you're frustrated, you're irritated, you're annoyed, everything seems to not be going right. You're trying to figure out why. And with this, the way things are, it's like so many people are like, they're operating out of their norm. Because either people feel like, either they feel like, they're running out of time, they got to speed it up, or they feel like they're in a state of depression, they just don't care no more, and anything goes, and it's just like, you really need to do the work for yourself. Because until you have completed the work on yourself, anybody you bring in, thinking that they're going to complete the work for you, it might not be the work that you're thinking of complete. It might not come out properly. It might not be exactly what you need to be. And now you codependent on somebody because they kind of walked you out of darkness. And so now you're codependent but the situation is toxic, and they trying to get rid of you, but you can't get rid of them because you need them. And so now they over there cursing you out Monday through Sunday because they hate being around you. Y'all fighting all the time, but you can't let them go. So I have to agree with that. The conversation was good. It was okay. Um, I felt it was dry at times, and I felt like it was like two people that was just talking. Um, and they were like on different spectrums, complete opposite viewpoint. Where this guy, I think he still has like the traditional concept and like what he thinks and what he was trained. Like I said, I feel like it's really about how you was raised up. So how the dynamic of what a man was supposed to be and how they're supposed to be what he's required from growing up. That's what his concept is of exactly what makes him man and what makes him feel comfortable, and that's his perspective. And I think she on the other end was like I wouldn't say she was playing more like the independent role, but she had independent moments. But she was also understanding and I guess empathic to like, to men at the same time. That's my thought.
I would like to see more conversations like this than motherfucking black men and black women yelling at each other over panels and shit, and, disrespecting name out, calling each other out their names. So it was good to see like two black people just sit down, have a pleasant conversation. Yeah, if there was some dry, even though there was some dry spots. I'm not even gonna hold you. There were some dry spots. But it's like I said, I'd rather see that than see a bunch of panels of people just yelling over each other, and then like, because I feel like even in that type of setting, the way it was said, it's just like each other, the way they came at each other is just like they was trying to come to a solution or to a form of understanding, not just I have my points, you have your points, and I'm going to argue my points with you. It's just like, what's your opinion on this? Okay, here's my opinion. What is your opinion on this? I see where you're getting at. It was a conversation, and although I do like the fact that we are having a conversation, I would say this. I feel like we should be at a point where we know the problems, we know why things are what they are. So we gotta either find a way to adapt to a situation or fix the problem where it doesn't become a problem no more, or the problem is at least minuscule. Because I feel like that's what's holding to me. That's what's holding black people back. Like, and yes, this is a array of things that's wrong with black people in the black community. But like when we sit down and talk to it, I feel like when we sit down, we talk like this. Like I feel like this is probably like us at our strongest. It's like like when I see shit like that, it's like, oh, it's very cohesive. It makes us look very unstoppable. It makes us look like, oh yeah, we're coming to a solution. I see where you come from. All right, let's work on this. I'm at the point where, like, yes, I'm glad we're having a conversation with men and women, but I feel like we're at the point where, okay, we need to start having solutions because no one else, especially black people, because I feel like we're at the point if we don't solve it, they will. And do you really want them to solve your problems? And I know I don't. So, yeah, I'm, I thought this was a cool video. This is just, Yeah, I thought this was a cool video. So, any last words before shutting down the after party for anybody?
The dating pool got pee in it.
I used to think that. I used to think the same way that dating pool was disgusting. Um, it's a little different. I would say that. But like when you stop looking in certain pools, you realize that okay, there's some possibilities out there. You just gotta stop looking in them now. The toxic pools. You gotta stop looking in the same direction everybody else looking at.
Just look over your shoulders, honey. Michael Jackson words.
Sometimes you might have to leave the city you in.
Man, I'm too lazy for that. I ain't trying to do all that.
Because it's like I wouldn't go to Atlanta looking for okay. It's just I feel like it's just not there.
Nah, fuck that. I'm about to be a passport, bro. I'm about to get me a drone from the Dominican Republic or some shit.
I'm big Dominican.
Next time you see me, I'm about to be like, I know black.
I'm big Dominican.
No, Ray, you be on Zeus?
I know. I just figured out who Biggie was, so I know who Biggie is. And when I heard the whole "I'm big Dominican," I thought it was the funniest shit ever. So yeah, I don't have Zeus though, but I know some characters, and I know that Biggie is one of the characters. Like when she get mad, she talking like a dude, and then we want to fight everybody in the house. Yeah, I know Biggie.
She has like a deep voice in general.
Yeah, I'm a club promoter. What clubs you promote? I ain't never seen you club. I'm the club promoter. But when she said, "I'm big Dominican," I've been saying this shit all fucking week. When I finally heard.
Yeah, that's her thing. She's the big one, not the little one.
Yeah, not the little one. But you finished what you were saying though, right? Material life.
Yeah, but it was funny to say he about to go over there and be a pastor, bro.
Oh yeah.
They might not respect it either, even though they struggling financially. Them girls,
Bruh, I'm removing finances for the rest of the fucking. I don't care about that shit. You can have a penny in your bank account. I don't care anymore. It's strict out here.
Men never really care. Men never really cared about women's money.
We will pick. Listen, men, nigga, we don't care. Just look good.
That's
No, I understand. There are homosexuals. There are men that actually do want their women to do. But trust me, when we say that is the minority, that is the minority. A lot of men will tell you we do not care about a woman, what a woman makes. It's just we really do care about who you are as a person. It's like I do understand. Trust me, I wholeheartedly understand. I think one of my best friends, her boyfriend, he portrays himself as, I call him a bad bitch because he be asking her for money and he be asking her to put gas in the car and all that other stuff. And I'm like, why are you with this nigga? It's like, and the funny thing is, she tells me all the time that she wants to protect her as a man. She wants to protect her and provide her. Her boyfriend does none of that. And and matter of fact, there's been times she's been sick or like in like in trouble or some shit like that, and her boyfriend goes to the club. Trust me when I say that. But he is like one dude out of so many other niggas I know that tell you I don't care about the woman's money. I don't care about. It's like I don't know. Honestly I don't like. I don't even know men that stay with their women because they make more.
Well, I think he right there. He is definitely one of them.
No,
Them, them
I told my best friend, you're dating a baddie. Like I make fun of her. I said you're dating a baddie. He was like the because if you're doing all this and
you want him more than he wants her.
yeah, it's the funny thing is, and you're gonna find this funny because it's like she complains that he don't do shit for her, and then she
Hmm.
goes, "How come he doesn't want to break up with me?" And I look at her. It was like, "Why would
But
he want
why?
to break up? Why would he want to break up with you when he's getting everything he wants?"
Yeah, but why should he though?
Huh?
Like, give me one good reason why he should break up with you. Like,
That's like that's what I tell her. It was like if he's getting whatever he wants from you, why would he break up with you? And she goes, "Yeah, you're right." I was like, and half the times it was just like, I know it's like you say this all the time. If every time you come to me and you talk about him and it's nothing positive, and I told her, I've heard you have not said not one positive thing about him. Half the times you think he's gay, and half the times you think he might be having an affair with someone else. Why
but
are you
that's the
still Why are you still with
um,
this nigga? My bad. Go ahead, B. I'll keep interrupting you.
it's the same concept of like when you're young and you live at home with your parents
Uh
and your
huh.
parents don't do too much, but you ain't got nowhere to go, so like you just tolerate a lot of the stuff that they do until like you have your own and then you run out of house and you leave and you never come back and you just hate them till the next morning and the next Sundays or whatever. It's the same concept. When he, it don't matter what you do, he's gonna tolerate it because he has no other option.
But she's not an ugly girl though. She's beautiful. that's
But
that's
look,
the she can literally get any nigga she want. She's not no big bag. She's not no ugly girl. She's a very beautiful girl. She just
looks is not the thing. We're talking about somebody who is a natural user. Like this man he has officially become lazy. So you have groomed him to become lazy, and now he has officially sat in it, and he's living in that area of laziness. He lost him a long time ago. At this point, he will tolerate so much because it's simple. He would tolerate you going off on him, disrespecting him, as long as you don't kick him out.
uh, uh I
Oh
don't know.
well. Well, you think I'm a lazy ass? Oh well. Is he gonna go look for a job? Hell no. Because I still get the food for free. So why should I go look for a job? If I need some cash, he still gives it. Why do I need to go look for a job? He moved in with you. You didn't move in with him. Why did you need to go look for a job?
That could be me. I'm sorry. That could be. I think it's like his father said. If I know who I am. It's like
Hmm?
uh, it's like that.
You don't know who she is either. But like I tell you, when I say you claim independent women, all these independent women can't, clearly he done tamed her.
Uh,
This was a good conversation. No, like the girl, I wasn't expecting. I don't know why I thought she was gonna be like gay.
gay.
hmm I don't know if it's the short hair or the short hair look, but I wasn't expecting her to like, she probably don't like men. I don't know, but
She give off that vibe that she don't like men. You probably right. I don't know.
yeah,
You
just from
usually
the
right
look,
about things like this. You
yeah, but
usually
just from looking at her, not from like, but once she talked, I was like, oh, okay, she's not gay. Well, I don't know if she's gay or not, but when you look at somebody and it looks like she had the short hair and stuff like that, she has beautiful face. Um, but it was still the short hair concept, like the way it's formed on her. Like it was more manly versus being feminine. Like how girls would get their hair short and they still look very girly.
you mean like the pixie cut, like the one Kelly Rowlands get.
Yeah, or like they'll get like a like bald face, not bald face, but like a one, but like it just looks still feminine. It doesn't look masculine.
Is it like the short hair with the little swoop in the front that people dub the "My Son Is King" haircut?
Like Amber Rose, even though her hair is really low, like it still looks girly. Like it doesn't look like a man's cut.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Tiffany
and that's
Haddish
the
when she's
and
really
that. I
low,
mean,
her skin, man.
I see what you mean. But Emma Rose, like she just looks feminine to me. She not like when she carries herself. It's like she don't really. I don't think I've ever seen her carry herself in a masculine way, except when she cursed out Murder Mook or some shit like that. But other than that,
Yeah, I like the conversation. I feel like I feel like it would have probably been a different conversation if it was had with a younger group versus like two people in their like probably 30s plus. The conversation is definitely gonna be different versus if you pick somebody who was like 19, 20 to 25 years old, it would have been a different conversation, honestly speaking. Because they see life different. Their perspective is different versus someone who was raised with, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s, in the 80s, they see things differently. Their perspective is differently. They was raised differently.
okay. So, any last words from either of y'all before I shut this down?
Mm-mm. Good night.
Father, any last words?
Nope.
Okay. As I used to say, fuck with people that fuck with you. All
Okay.
right. Um, make sure always have people. Just make sure you always have people in your corner that is there for your best interest, and not just there just to bank off of your money. Have people that is going to um, challenge your opinions and make sure you're bringing out the best quality either in yourself or whatever you're promoting, or just be or being a better person. It's like every day is an opportunity to grow. Every day is an opportunity to learn, and every day is an opportunity to witness something that you have never either seen or did before. So life is a blessing. Life is a gift. So every day, just take time and just look around you and appreciate everything that is in your realm. with that being said, I
I
would
would
like
like
to
to
thank.
say one thing real quick. Just
Go
one
ahead.
thing. My birthday is tomorrow. All right, carry on.
Oh,
Your birthday is tomorrow.
Officially, yes.
Happy birthday!
is
Oh
it
yeah, shout
midnight?
out. Shout out to all my Leos.
It's tomorrow or today? 'Cause technically it's
Tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow midnight is my birthday.
Oh,
I don't
oh
know.
yeah,
It's August 14th.
oh, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
the 1-4.
One shout out to first off, shout out to all my Leos. Two, I'm on vacation this whole week, so I might
We're
have to.
probably doing a podcast on your birthday.
I was about to say I was gonna have the podcast on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
That way it could be on Father's birthday. If he's
Thursday. His birthday is
And I'm
Wednesday.
working day too.
Wednesday. Shit. This how you know my days are all fucked up. But
We're doing it
Yeah, I feel
tomorrow. So since we be on here for forever, so by the time midnight here, we'll still be on, so we can do the whole happy birthday.
that's basically it. But yeah, I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation for my job this week, so I'm gonna be just doing a lot of content. So I might do another after party this week, just if I see something interesting. So I'm gonna but
I might be returning.
say again.
I might be returning to content creation. It's still a might. It's still a hard might. All right, I'm going to sleep.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. I would like to thank the panel for jumping on. I would like to thank y'all for coming with us to the after party. Till then, that's Father. That's Material Life. My name is Ray, and we signing out. Peace.
Bye.